I moved to another state, got promoted, and no one from my family noticed. Then my aunt posted a photo of my new apartment on Instagram. Suddenly they remembered me and showed up at the door. Mom said, "You could sell it to help your sister." My name is Cheryl, and I'm 28 years old. I worked as a clinical specialist for a medical device company in Ohio, and I lived about 30 minutes away from my parents in Columbus. I had a decent apartment, a reliable Honda Accord, and a job I was pretty good at. My life was okay, I guess. My family consisted of my parents, my older sister Nicole, and her two daughters. Nicole was 32, 4 years older than me. She'd been married once, but that ended badly about 3 years ago. Her ex wasn't in the picture anymore, so it was just her and the girls. The oldest was 6 and the youngest was 4. They were cute kids, but they had way too much energy. Nicole ran an online boutique selling women's clothes. She worked from home, posting photos on Instagram and packing orders. Sometimes she made good money, sometimes not so much. It seemed to depend on what was trending that week. Every Saturday, I drove to my parents' house and cooked lunch for everyone. It started as a casual thing, maybe 2 years ago, but somehow it became expected. I'd show up around 10 in the morning with groceries from Kroger, spend a few hours in the kitchen, and then we'd all eat together. Nicole would bring the girls, and we'd have this big family meal. I didn't really mind it at first. It was nice to see everyone, and I liked cooking. But over time, it started feeling less like a choice, and more like an obligation. One Saturday in late August, I was in my parents' kitchen making southern fried chicken and peach cobbler. The chicken was sizzling in the cast iron skillet, and I'd just put the cobbler in the oven. The kitchen smelled amazing. I walked into the living room where everyone was hanging out. My dad was on the couch watching Ohio State football. My mom was chasing after my nieces who were running around screaming and playing some game only they understood. Nicole was sitting at the dining table with her phone propped up, doing a live video for her boutique customers. "Hey everyone," I said. "I have some news." Nobody looked up. "I got promoted at work," I continued. "They're making me senior clinical specialist, and they're transferring me to the Seattle office in Washington State." My dad kept his eyes on the TV. My mom grabbed my youngest niece before she could knock over a lamp. Nicole was talking to her phone about a sale on sundresses. I stood there for a minute, waiting for someone to say something. Anything. Nothing. I went back to the kitchen and checked on the chicken. My hands were shaking a little. I told myself it was fine, that they'd heard me and would say something later. When lunch was ready, I called everyone to the table. We all sat down and I started passing around the food. The chicken looked perfect, crispy and golden. The cobbler had cooled enough to serve. "So, like I mentioned earlier," I said, trying again. "I got promoted. It comes with an 18% salary increase and a relocation bonus." My mom was cutting up chicken for my nieces. My dad was loading his plate with mashed potatoes and green beans. Nicole looked up from her phone. "Oh my God, you guys! I made $20,400 today. $2,400 in one day." My parents' faces lit up immediately. "That's wonderful, honey," my mom said, smiling wide. They spent the next 10 minutes talking about Nicole's boutique, her sales numbers, her strategies, her plans to expand. I sat there eating my chicken and saying nothing. "Cheryl, can you clean up what the girls spilled under the table?" my mom asked without looking at me. "And cut their chicken into smaller pieces, please. These are too big." I got up and grabbed some paper towels. I cleaned up the mess on the floor, then cut the chicken on both girls' plates into tiny pieces. When I sat back down, they were still talking about Nicole's business. I thought about all the times I'd helped her. Last Christmas, I'd spent 4 entire days at her house packing orders for her boutique, boxes everywhere, address labels, packing tape. My hands were covered in paper cuts by the end of it. 3 months ago, I'd used my vacation days to watch her daughters while she flew to Los Angeles for some fashion show. A whole week of my vacation time gone. The girls had both gotten sick that week too, so I'd spent most of it cleaning up after them and trying to get them to take medicine. I'd never asked for anything in return. I just did it because that's what you do for family, right? Why do I always have to do everything? I'd asked my mom once, months ago. Nicole has children, Cheryl, she'd said. She needs more help. You don't have kids, so you have more free time. That was her answer every time. After lunch, everyone went back to what they were doing. My dad returned to his football game. Nicole started another live video for her boutique. My mom took the girls outside to play in the backyard. I cleaned up the kitchen by myself, washing dishes and putting away leftovers in Tupperware containers. Nobody offered to help. When I was done, I said goodbye to everyone. My mom gave me a distracted hug. My dad waved from the couch. Nicole was too focused on her phone to notice me leaving. I drove home in my Honda feeling hollow inside. When I got to my apartment, I sat on my couch for a while just staring at nothing. Then I picked up my phone and opened the family group chat. It was called The Crew, even though that name made me cringe. I typed out a message. Just wanted to let everyone know officially that I'll be moving to Seattle on September 20th. The company is handling most of the logistics, but I'll be pretty busy packing over the next couple weeks. Love you all. I hit send and watched the message appear in the chat. Within a minute, all three of them had read it. The little check marks appeared under my message. Nobody responded. I waited 20 minutes. Still nothing. Then my mom sent a photo of my nieces sitting at the kitchen table eating slices of my peach cobbler. The caption said, "These angels enjoying Aunt Cheryl's delicious cobbler." A few minutes later, Nicole wrote, "New record today, $20,600 in sales. This is insane." My mom replied with a string of celebration emojis and heart eyes. I put my phone face down on the coffee table. Then I started crying. Not loud, dramatic crying, just quiet tears running down my face while I sat there alone in my apartment. I'd worked so hard for that promotion. I'd spent months on a hospital integration project that got me noticed by senior management. I'd put in extra hours, taken on additional responsibilities, proven myself over and over. And my family couldn't even acknowledge it. They couldn't even pretend to be happy for me. But Nicole made $20,600 in a day, and suddenly everyone was full of praise and congratulations. I cried for a while, then washed my face and started looking at apartments in Seattle online. I had 2 weeks to find a place and pack up my entire life. At least in Washington, I'd be far away from Saturday lunches and ignored accomplishments, and constantly being asked to babysit or pack boxes or cut up chicken for children that weren't even mine. The next 2 weeks were a blur of packing boxes and coordinating with the moving company. I gave notice to my landlord, updated my address with Chase Bank and my employer, and slowly watched my apartment get emptied into cardboard boxes. On the morning of September 20th, the moving truck arrived right on schedule. 2 guys from Allied Van Lines showed up and started loading my furniture. I was carrying a box out to my car when my phone rang. It was my mom. "Cheryl, I need you to come over on Saturday," she said. No hello, no how are you, just straight to the demand. "I need you to watch the girls. Nicole has an important meeting with a supplier, and I have a doctor's appointment that day." I looked at the moving truck parked in front of my building, at the man loading my couch into the back of it. "Mom, I'm leaving for Seattle right now. Actually, I told you about this 2 weeks ago. I sent a message in the family chat." She didn't say anything for a few seconds. "Then I have to go. We'll talk later." She hung up. I stood there holding my phone, waiting for the anger or hurt or something to hit me, but I just felt tired. Really, really tired. 7 hours later, while I was somewhere in Wyoming, my phone buzzed. A text from my mom. "What do you mean you're leaving for Seattle?" I didn't respond. I just kept driving. I arrived in Seattle late that night and checked into a Holiday Inn Express. The next day, I looked at temporary apartments and found a small furnished place in Capitol Hill I could rent month to month while I searched for something permanent. It wasn't fancy, but it was clean and close to my new office downtown. My first week at the new job was intense. New colleagues, new systems, new everything. But I liked it. People here didn't know me as the helper or the babysitter. They just knew me as Cheryl, the new senior clinical specialist. 3 weeks went by. I'd settled into my temporary apartment and was getting comfortable with my new routine. I'd even found a coffee shop I liked near Pike Place Market. Then my mom posted in the family chat, "Family party for Aunt Beverly's 60th birthday on Saturday. Cheryl, come early to help set up, probably around 1 p.m. Party starts at 4. I read the message twice. Not, "Can you come help?" or "Would you mind?" Just telling me to show up and help, like I still lived 30 minutes away instead of 2,000 miles away. I didn't respond. Saturday came. I spent the morning unpacking more boxes in my apartment and went grocery shopping at Whole Foods in the afternoon. My phone stayed quiet until around 3 o'clock. Then it started. First, a text from Nicole. "Where are you?" Then my mom. "Cheryl, we're waiting. Where are you?" My dad. "Your mother needs help. Please call." Nicole again. "Seriously, where are you? This is ridiculous." I silenced my phone and put it in a drawer. That evening, I took it out and saw 15 more messages. Most of them were asking where I was. The last one from my mom said, "You are so selfish. You let the whole family down today. Aunt Beverly was asking about you and we didn't know what to tell her." I stared at that message for a long time. Then I called my mom. She answered on the first ring. "Where have you been? Do you know how embarrassing it was to—" "Mom, I moved to another state a month ago." Silence. "I told you I was moving to Seattle." I sent a message in the family chat. "You read it." "Well, I don't remember seeing that," she said. "This is the first I'm hearing about it." I almost laughed. "You read the message, Mom. I saw the check mark." "Well, fine. But do you have any idea how inconvenient this is? We're really struggling without you here. Your father's back has been bothering him, so I've been doing everything around the house, and Nicole needs help with the girls all the time. It's just so much harder now." I waited for her to ask how I was doing, how the move went, how I liked my new job, how I was settling in. She didn't. "Actually, speaking of Nicole," my mom continued, "she's trying to expand the boutique. She found this great opportunity to partner with a manufacturer, but she needs some capital to make it work. I was thinking you could help her out. Maybe 5 or 10,000. You just got that promotion and the relocation bonus, so you should have the money." My chest felt tight. "Mom, I have to go. Someone's at the door." "Wait, about the money." I hung up. I sat on my couch in my temporary apartment in Seattle, in a city where nobody knew me, where nobody expected anything from me. And I realized something. My family didn't see me as a person. They saw me as a resource, a babysitter when they needed one, a cook for Saturday lunches, a pair of hands to pack boxes at Christmas, a wallet to open when Nicole needed money. They didn't care about my promotion. They didn't care that I'd moved across the country. They didn't even notice I was gone until they needed something from me. And when I wasn't there to provide it, I was selfish. I was letting them down. I thought about calling my mom back, explaining how I felt, telling her that I needed them to see me, really see me, as their daughter and sister, not just as someone who could do things for them. But I already knew what would happen. She'd tell me I was being dramatic. She'd say that family helps each other. She'd remind me that Nicole had children and needed more support. It would be the same conversation we'd had a dozen times before, just with different words. So I didn't call back. I decided right then that I was done. Done reaching out, done explaining, done hoping they'd suddenly realize what they'd been doing all these years. 2 years passed. In that time, I didn't call my family. I didn't text them. I didn't visit for Thanksgiving or Christmas or anyone's birthday. I sent no cards, no gifts, nothing. And they didn't reach out either, not once. My life in Seattle was completely different. I threw myself into work and got promoted twice in those 2 years. First to lead clinical specialist, then to regional manager. My salary nearly doubled from what I'd been making in Ohio. A year after moving, I bought my own condo in Queen Anne, a beautiful neighborhood with views of Puget Sound and the Space Needle. It had 2 bedrooms, a balcony with water views, and a kitchen I actually enjoyed cooking in. It was mine, completely mine. I also got a dog, a golden retriever I named Cooper. He was smart and friendly, and having him around made the condo feel less empty. 3 months ago, I met someone. His name was Nathan, and he was 34. He owned a startup that made rehabilitation equipment for physical therapy clinics. We met at a dog park in Discovery Park. He had a chocolate lab named Moose, and Cooper and Moose got along immediately. Nathan and I started talking, and he asked me out for coffee at a place in Fremont. That turned into dinner at a seafood restaurant on the waterfront, then another dinner. Before I knew it, we were dating. One Saturday afternoon, my Aunt Beverly came to visit. She was my mom's younger sister, and she'd always been different from the rest of the family. We'd stayed in touch over the past 2 years through occasional texts and phone calls. She was the only one who'd actually asked how I was doing after I moved. Beverly walked into my condo and looked around with wide eyes. "Cheryl, this place is gorgeous. You've really done well for yourself." We spent the afternoon catching up. She told me about her kids, her job teaching at the community college, her life back in Ohio. I told her about work, about Cooper, about Nathan. Before she left, she asked if she could take a photo of my living room. "It's just so beautiful," she said. "I want to remember it." I said sure, not thinking much about it. She posted it on Facebook that evening. I saw it later when she tagged me. The caption said, "Visiting my niece Cheryl in her beautiful Seattle home. She has her own place, a wonderful boyfriend, and a truly admirable life. So proud of her." I smiled when I read it. It felt nice to have someone in my family actually acknowledge what I'd accomplished. But then the comments started rolling in. Relatives I barely knew were asking questions. "What neighborhood is that? How much do condos cost there? Is Seattle expensive?" Then I saw my mom's comment. "So happy to see our Cheryl doing so well. We're so proud of everything she's achieved." Our Cheryl. Like she'd been involved, like she'd been part of my life these past 2 years. I closed the app and put my phone down. That evening, Beverly sent me a screenshot. It was from the family chat, the one I'd left 2 years ago. Nicole had written, "Did you see Beverly's post? Cheryl's place looks expensive, and she has a boyfriend who owns a business. We should find out what her financial situation is like. She might be able to help us now." My mom had replied, "Good idea, I'll reach out to her." I stared at the screenshot for a long time. Of course, that's why they were suddenly interested. An hour later, my phone buzzed, a text from my mom. "Cheryl, honey, your father and I miss you so much. It's been too long since we've seen you. How have you been?" Before I could even think about responding, another text came through. This one from Nicole. "Wow, your condo looks amazing. I can't believe how well you're doing. I'm so happy for you." Then another text, this time from my mom again. "We'd love to come visit you. We've already bought plane tickets. We'll arrive tomorrow at noon. Can't wait to see you. Dad, me, Nicole, and the girls. It'll be just like old times." I read the messages 3 times. They'd already bought tickets. They were coming tomorrow. They didn't ask if it was okay. They didn't check if I was available. They just decided and told me. I called Nathan. "My family is coming tomorrow. They saw a photo of my condo on social media and now they're flying out here. They didn't even ask if it was okay." He was quiet for a moment. "Be careful, Cheryl. People don't usually show up after 2 years of silence unless they want something." "I know," I said. "I know exactly what they want." "Do you want me to be there tomorrow?" "No, I need to handle this myself. But thanks." We talked for a few more minutes, and then I hung up. I sat on my couch with Cooper curled up next to me, staring at my phone. Tomorrow was going to be a disaster. I could feel it. But at least this time, I wasn't going to just smile and nod and let them take whatever they wanted from me. The next morning, I cleaned my condo and braced myself. Around noon, my doorbell rang. I opened it, and there they were. My mom hugged me too tight, squeezing like she was trying to make up for 2 years in one embrace. My dad stood behind her holding a bakery box. "We brought your favorite," he said. "Lemon pound cake." Lemon pound cake wasn't my favorite. Red velvet was, but I didn't correct him. Nicole came in next with her daughters, who were now 8 and 6. They immediately started running through my condo, touching everything, opening cabinets, picking up decorations. My mom looked around. "This is quite extravagant, isn't it?" It wasn't a compliment. I went to the kitchen to make coffee while my family settled in. When I came back to the living room, my dad had turned on the TV to a Seahawks preseason game. The girls were running around, grabbing things off shelves and throwing them on the floor. One of them picked up a glass sculpture that Nathan had given me. It was delicate, expensive, and meaningful. "Put that back, please," I said firmly. She ignored me and kept running with it. "Put it back now," I repeated louder this time. Nicole looked up from her phone. "They're just playing, Cheryl. Relax." "I'm not relaxing while they break my things. Girls, put that down and sit on the couch." The older one finally set the sculpture down, but then they knocked over a vase of flowers on the side table. Water spilled everywhere. "That's enough," I said sharply. "Both of you sit down right now." I cleaned up the water, then grabbed 2 books from my shelf and handed them to the girls. "Read these on the couch, no running around." My family stared at me like I'd grown a second head. "You've changed," my mom said. Nicole was looking around the condo, taking in every detail. "So, this place must have cost a lot. What did you put down for the down payment? And what's your mortgage?" "That's private." My mom jumped in. "We're just curious, honey. You've done so well for yourself." I sat down in the chair across from them. "Why are you really here?" My mom's face shifted into a concerned expression. "We missed you, sweetie. It's been 2 years." 2 years of silence, I said. Not a single phone call, not one text asking how I was. But you saw a photo of my condo, and suddenly you bought plane tickets. "That's not fair," Nicole said. "We've been busy. I have 2 kids." And I had a whole life change. A move across the country, 2 promotions, buying my first home, none of which any of you acknowledged. My mom reached over and patted my hand. "Well, we're here now. And we need to talk to you about something important." Here it was. "Nicole's going through a tough time," my mom continued. Nicole nodded. "After 5 years with the online boutique, I decided to open a real store. A physical boutique in Easton Town Center. Mom and Dad invested their retirement savings to help me get started. But it didn't work out. The location wasn't good. The rent was too high. I had to close after 8 months. Now I have $45,000 in debt from the commercial lease." My mom leaned forward. "We've spent everything we had helping Nicole. We don't have anything left." I waited. "So we thought," my mom said carefully, "that you could sell this condo and help your sister. You don't really need a place this big. And your boyfriend has money, right? He owns a business. You could move in with him." I actually laughed. Not a happy laugh, a bitter, exhausted laugh. "Let me tell you what I think about," I said. "I think about how I announced my promotion and transfer and not one of you reacted. I think about how I sent a message saying I was moving, and you all read it but said nothing. I think about how you forgot my birthday 2 years in a row. I think about spending 4 days packing boxes for your boutique at Christmas instead of enjoying my holiday. I think about using an entire week of my vacation time to babysit your kids while you went to a fashion show in LA. They all went quiet. For years, I was your babysitter, your cook, your helper, your wallet. And when I moved away and stopped being available for all of that, you didn't care. You didn't reach out. You didn't check if I was okay. But now that you need money, here you are. After 2 years of complete silence, "Cheryl," my mom started. No. I walked to the door and opened it. This visit is over. You need to leave. We flew all the way here, my dad said. That's not my problem. I didn't invite you. You decided to come without asking me. Now I'm asking you to leave. My mom started crying. You're choosing money over family. No, I'm choosing myself over people who only see me as an ATM. Nicole stood up. We're sisters, Cheryl. Then act like it. Act like you care about me as a person, not just what I can do for you. We wouldn't have asked if we weren't desperate, my dad said. That's the problem. The only time you talk to me is when you're desperate. Not when I got promoted, not when I moved, not on my birthday, only when you need something. They gathered their things in awkward silence. The girls picked up the books I'd given them, and Nicole took them from their hands. At the door, Nicole turned back. I didn't think you'd become so cold. I'm not cold. I'm just done being used. There's a difference. I closed the door behind them. That evening, I found out through Beverly that they'd flown back to Ohio. Over the next few days, my phone was flooded with messages. My mom begged. My dad tried to apologize in his awkward way. Nicole alternated between apologies and accusations. 2 weeks later, Nicole sent a long email detailing what would happen without my help. The boutique debt going to collections, my parents possibly having to sell their house. The girls suffering because their mother was stressed and couldn't provide for them properly. I read it once and archived it. I called Nathan that night and told him everything that had happened. He listened without interrupting, and when I was done, he said, I'm proud of you. That took real courage. It didn't feel like courage, it felt like survival. Sometimes they're the same thing. Months later, my phone rang with my mom's number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hi, Cheryl, she said quietly. I waited. I'm calling to apologize, on behalf of all of us. We treated you terribly, and you didn't deserve that. I didn't say anything. We'd like to try to fix our relationship, she continued. If you're willing, on your terms, whenever you're ready. I appreciate that, I said. But I need time. I'm not ready yet. I understand. We'll wait, and we'll try to do better. Okay, I'll think about it. That's all we can ask for. Take care, Cheryl. You too. I hung up and sat on my balcony, looking out at the water. Cooper came and sat beside me, resting his head on my lap. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange. A few months after that call, Nathan and I decided we'd get married next year. We hadn't set a date yet, but we both knew it was what we wanted. And if some of my family didn't come to the wedding, that would be okay. I had a life now. A real life with a partner who respected me, a dog who loved me unconditionally, a job I excelled at, and a home that was truly mine. I wasn't the invisible helper anymore. I wasn't the person who existed only to serve others' needs. I was just Cheryl. And that was enough. Actually, it was more than enough. It was everything.